gonna get right into this, man. Top 5 rappers. I'm gonna go ahead and break it down for y'all. I'm gonna do it different. I'm gonna do it the right way, I feel. You know, when people give these lists, I feel like they end up giving a favorites list. They give who got the biggest buzz at the time, who's selling the most records. You know, it got to be an established list of artists that, you know, like them, love them, hate them. You just got to give them credit. So I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. I'm gonna give the list, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give you my favorites list. But before we get into that, what does it take to be considered as a top 5 rapper or a top artist? To me, it's an accumulation of things. It's a combination. You gotta have lyrics, hands down. You gotta have bars, you know. 2, you gotta have song substance. What do you talk about when you record music, you know? And number 3, classic material. How much classic material do you have you established in the game? So with that being said, hands down, we gotta go. There's a lot of stuff being said about this guy, but just put that aside. Illuminati, he's not as good as he used to be, whatever. Number 1, hands down, Jay-Z. Like, the things that this man has accomplished in the game, you gotta give him his credit for what he has done. Jay-Z, he got bars, he got lyrics, you know what I mean? He got the song substance. The things that Jay-Z talk about on records is crazy, you know what I mean? And on top of that, he doesn't write anything. Like, to me, he's the only person who gets credit for not writing anything. Other people, they say, oh, I didn't write that. Yeah, we can tell. Like, when we listen to the music, it sounds like they didn't put much effort into it. But Jay-Z, he continuously impresses me. He doesn't write any music. He got classic material. We could go ahead and break that down. He got the stats. Number 1, Reasonable Doubt, classic. I didn't really get into too many of the Sean Carters. Sean Carter 3, people say that's classic, so that's possibly 2. Another classic album from Jay, Dynasty album, classic. Number 3, Blueprint, classic. Blueprint 2, classic. He got Fade to Black, the Black album, that was classic. I mean, this guy has 5 classic albums under his resume, and that's unmatched. You know what I mean? It's not too many people who can sit down and write better verses than Jay. You know what I mean? You gotta give this guy credit where credit is due. I don't think you can name one rapper who has more classic albums than Jay. Maybe Nas, maybe, but yeah, Jay, number 1, he got 5, possibly 6. So we gotta give Jay-Z credit on that. Number 2, I'd have to go with Eminem. Just the things that Eminem has done. He got the stats, you know. Word, syllable wise, he's unmatched. I don't think anybody can out-rap Eminem on a track. The way he uses syllables, just the way he put his words together, I think he's incredible. He's the best when it comes to that. He got bars, he got lyrics, song substance. He's one of the greatest when it comes to song substance. You know, Stan, The Way I Am, he got the Kim song. His first album, he got classic material on there, Guilty Conscience. So he got song substance. Classic material, his stats is there too. His first album, Slim Shady, the LP, to me, that was the best album from him. That was classic, hands down. Matter of fact, I don't know one person who hasn't heard the Slim Shady LP. Like, that's just a universal album. Everybody's heard that album. That's hands down classic. Marshall Mathers album, classic. A lot of people actually say that Marshall Mathers album was better than the Slim Shady LP. So you got to give him credit on that. His stats was there. You got 2 classics, Curtain Call, Relapse. I didn't really get into that too much, but I mean, you got 2 classic albums there, and a really good album after that. So stats is there. So we got to give Eminem number 2, hands down. Number 3, I got to go with Lil Wayne. That's just me not being biased towards him. You know, I'm probably not the biggest Lil Wayne fan, but the things that he's done, you got to give him credit for that. His stats is there. He got bars. He got song substance. Even the song he just came out with, the How to Love. I mean, he proves he can write other songs than just going in doing bars all the time. So you got to give him the song substance on there. The only thing with Lil Wayne, I just feel like he can be better than what he is. That's why I feel like I had to put him number 3. He possibly could be number 2 easy, possibly could be number 1. My personal opinion, I think him and Jay just need to battle and just get it over with, you know, so we can really see who's the best between those two, but that probably won't happen. But yeah, Lil Wayne, I mean, his bars speak for themselves. I think he can be better in a sense of, I think he just goes in the studio and he just works hard, and whatever comes out, comes out. I feel like if he actually listened to the music, pick some of those bars out, he got good bars, but sometimes he got a little kind of corny bars. But if he could pull those out, I just think he could be better. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I had to give him number 3. Classic albums. You got the stats there. First, Carter 1, classic. You know, just for the simple fact when that came out, everybody deemed him as being the greatest rapper. So we got to give him the Carter 1. Carter 2, that was classic. To me, that was the best out of the Carter series. You know what I mean? So that was classic, hands down. Everybody says that was a classic album. Carter 3 wasn't classic, but it was a good run. It's good stats on there. It's good material. So that was a good album. Carter 4, I haven't really heard Carter 4 all the way. I don't know if it's a classic. I haven't heard too much talk about it, but I mean, he got 2 classics. Depends on how long you follow Lil Wayne. Some people might say the block is hot, I don't know. But he got 2 classics, and he got some good albums. And not to mention his mixtapes. You know, nowadays mixtapes, they have to be considered as albums. Like the way people do mixtapes, it's all original beats on there. You know, they got hooks, they structure it right. You know, number 1 feeds off of the intro. You know what I mean? Number 2 feeds off, like, the way they structure it and set it up, it's like a complete album. So you got to give Lil Wayne his credit on those mixtapes too. Like, he works very hard. He's a good rapper, hands down. So you got to give him number 3. Number 4, I'd have to go with Kanye. Kanye is controversial. I mean, just take all of that stuff aside and just listen to this man's music, and you'll see when Kanye comes out, he doesn't miss. Like, when Kanye drops an album, Kanye drops a single, he doesn't miss. He's consistent all the time. So you gotta give him that. His bars, he got bars, you know what I mean? His singles, I don't think he's had a whack single, to be honest. Or maybe I just can't remember, but I mean, Jesus Walks, Through the Wire, All Falls Down, to I Heard Him Say, The Good Life, Stronger, All of the Lights. Like, he just is consistent throughout. He doesn't miss. He got the song substance, to be honest. He's probably one of the greatest when it comes to song substance. What does his songs mean? Things that he write about. He's real in depth with the things he write about. Big Brother, you know what I mean? Obviously Jesus Walks, Roses on the 2nd album, 2 Words. Like, he got crazy song substance. The albums, his classics is there. He got the first album, hands down classic. College Dropout. Number 2, Registration, classic. Can't nobody argue with that. Those 2 are classics. Graduation, it was a good run. It wasn't really classic. And then, matter of fact, I think that's the album that beat Kanye, or beat 50 first week sales. So that was a good album. Other than that, his last album, it was okay. A lot of people liked it. I didn't really like it. I don't think it was a classic. It's probably a good run, but I'm not gonna really get into too much on that. So we got 2 classics, you know, and classic albums is hard to come by. A lot of rappers maybe have 1 or 2. So when I say somebody has 2 classic albums, that's no knock on them. A classic album is really hard to come by anyway. So he got 2 classic albums. You gotta give him his credit on that. Number 5, I gotta go with Nas. Like, lyrically, I don't think it's too many people lyrically better than Nas if you can actually sit down and listen to his music and really appreciate what he does. The only thing with Nas, I just think he kind of struggles with taking all of his creative thoughts and relaying it into music, and the ability to have people relate to him. You know, that's a talent in itself to be able to do that. And I just don't think Nas can capture everybody like that. But the people who do listen to him, hands down, he's probably one of the most lyrical MCs in the game, unmatched. So he got the bars, he got the lyrics, song substance, his stories is crazy. Just the things he talk about in general life, it's crazy. Nas got song substance. He know how to make good records. He got the classic albums. His first album, Illmatic, obviously classic. It was written, classic. Nobody can argue with that. I Am, a lot of people might give him that. It was a good run. Stillmatic, classic, hands down. Nobody can argue with that. One Mic, the Rewind, you got stories telling it backwards. So that's hands down. Nas, he got to get that top 5 slot. So that's the list. To me, being completely honest, just giving credit where credit is due. Whether you like them, whether you love them, whether you hate them, you just got to give them props on them. So that's my list right there, top 5. We got Jay number 1. We got Eminem number 2. Lil Wayne number 3. We got Kanye number 4. And we got Nas number 5. Now, for my list, just 100% complete biasness. Like if you was to catch me in the studio, catch me out on the streets, what is my list?